Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a big room song from scratch. I'm going to show you my method, how I approach sample selection, all the little nitty-gritty stuff. And this is going to be a 2 or 3 part video because today I'm going to be focusing on the drop. For me, the way I work is that I like to work on the drop, the climax, the most exciting part of the track. Not that the other parts are insignificant, they're very important. But that's the way I work. I like to work on the drop and then work on the breakdown and etc. etc. Today we're going to be making that from scratch, and this is intended for intermediate users. So if you guys don't know your way around FL Studio that well, don't worry. There's going to be videos coming in the near future about how to get your way around, all the routing, all the different small settings, all that good stuff. So let's jump right in. I have nothing on the master but just a transparent limiter. So you can see here I'm not pumping any extra gain, it's just a transparent limiter on there. And let's jump right in. So I'm going to be using mostly free packs, and I might be using some stuff maybe from Vengeance or Kashmir, but we're going to try and stick with mostly the Revealed pack, which is free, and the Ollie James samples, which are again also free. So I'm going to be looking for like a sub kick. The Ollie James stuff are pretty good. I like that one, so we're going to use that one. Fill 4, cut the group so it doesn't overlap. Route it to number 1. This is going to be our kick. We'll make this song like 16 bars long. F2 to rename it to kick, if I can spell. I'm going to get some one-shots. I want to get like a brass one-shot, and we'll make it like 4 bars long. Okay, very nice. I like this one, but it's in the key of E, so we gotta pitch it up. Let's put some kickstart on there. See how this sounds. Okay, so we have a little structure going on. We're going to increase the volume of that kick. We're also going to use Fab Filter, Pro Q2. We're going to cut some of the low end out of this brass. So we'll leave it around there. Sounds okay. Let's get some like little effects, like a little fall. Okay, we'll put that every 8 bars. Okay, let's just rename these effects. Kick, brass. And we'll get kickstart on there. We're going to EQ it around 300 Hertz. Sometimes I push FX even higher. I just want to kill the low frequencies. And I'm going to turn down the volume and work my way into it, into the track. Around there. We'll leave it. We might increase it. Now let's bring in the lead. I want to really focus on the lead in this track. The lead is going to be the main highlight of this track. Again, we'll give it a separate track, of course. Okay, and let's see here. Let's just make like a simple melody. Sounds so simple, but you got to work with something, you know, you got to start with something. Size at 20, or sorry, dry wet it is around 21, size at 64. We'll make the sound a bit better before we change up that melody. Monophonic, Envelope 4 will hit trigger 0 reset. Noise helps to add high end. Feedback will add some little low mid harmonics. It'll help to add some body if your sound is too thin. Something simple, but kind of a little bouncy, you know, nothing crazy. And I'm going to keep this very simple because I could go hours into the sound design and phase modulation. And the modulation oscillator is really the powerhouse of Native Instruments Massive. But for the sake of this tutorial, I don't want to do too much sound design. What we're going to do is we're going to maybe crank up the reverb a bit, but we won't know how much reverb we need until we compare it to the kick and the other components. So I'm going to add some sidechain again. And I really recommend to guys to really understand sidechain, listen to sidechain, do manual sidechain before you start using plugins like this. But this makes it very easy. You can do sidechain in so many different ways. You know, Dyro himself would use it using Fruity Balance, and he would just draw the curves. So you can do it any way you want. There's no right or wrong answer. Okay, so we're going to give this its own pattern, and we're going to cut and paste that, and let's see how this sounds right now. We'll put like a little fill in this section. I like the kind of longer note. I'm gonna want to go for like a longer note here. Cool. So again, like, you always got to experiment. Sometimes your MIDI might sound cool at first, but like Lazy Rich said, you can have an amazing sound but bad melody. And then you can have a terrible sound but a great melody, and it's about finding that balance. Right now our lead is pretty loud and it's going above 0 dB. So we can either turn down the lead in the synth or we could try to compress it. We'll try a bit of both. I'm going to bring in the supercharger. Always be careful when you're compressing synths because synths are generally stable. They're not like vocals, and vocals are a great way to learn compression because you'll really understand what it's doing when you slam a compressor on vocals. With synths, compressors are usually used to change the character, to combine the reverb, to saturate it more, to change and manipulate the way it sounds, maybe brighter, maybe warmer. So be careful. You don't always want to slam a tool on everything just because it's a tool. Like, you got to always have a reason why you want to use it. In this case, I'm using this because I want to see if I can tame it a bit. I also want to see if I can change the character, maybe saturate it a bit, maybe make it warmer or brighter. So we'll see. Bring the sausage fattener just because I want to clip it at 0 dB, but it does change the characteristic of the sound. You might not want to use it because it's a slammer. It really slams the sound. An alternative is also Camel Crusher, which will limit your sound, and you can also use a cutoff filter. It'll cut it off around 16 kilohertz, but just be aware of that. You might lose a bit of that sparkle around the high end, but it will tame the sound from clipping over 0 dB. Pretty simple. I'm liking the vibe that we have right now. I'm going to go ahead and add some stuff from the Revealed pack. Again, this is a free pack. I suggest any producer to get it. I've used it a lot. I'm going to go ahead and add some stadium claps because can't be Big Room without that stadium clap. You need that stadium clap. I'm going to add it after the 4th bar, so right on the 5th bar. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep playing it, but I'm also going to, let's do this, send it to its own channel. I'm going to make a unique one. Okay, I'm going to reverse it. And I'm going to do this. A lot of producers do this. This is a way of kind of transitioning it into the next segment here. I'm going to do it like right there, like that. This way it has an effect of like that. All right, so it's probably going to be really loud, so I'm going to bring my boy Fruity Balance. And we're probably going to have to EQ this as well. Okay, sounding alright. I'm going to EQ this, bring in the good old fab filter, just to kill some of the low end. It's okay there. I just don't want there to be too much sub bass because all that adds up. It'll take away energy from the kick. So we have the stadium clap. We got the lead. We got all that stuff there. Let's rearrange this stuff. And we'll give it a nice little color there. Maybe purple for this. And a darker color for that. Let's have a listen. We're going to add some toms. I really like Ollie James toms. So I'm going to add something like... Yeah, that's a cool tom. Let's add that. Add the tom. Let's move it over. Let's EQ that, and we will sidechain it as well. So let's have a listen. Let's make a new pattern. We're going to make this pattern like a 4-bar like that, and we'll put it like that. Okay. Toms, you do want them to be in key, but not always. Like sometimes a wrong pitched tom is maybe what you want, so experiment. I kind of want at the end of every bar, so I'm going to leave it like that. And a way you can add some space for your toms is by messing with the pan. So I'm going to pan these maybe around 20%. Okay, I'll do 17%. All right. So we got 17%. And I'm going to slide these a bit. I don't want them to be really quantized. So I'm going to move that to the left. Move that one to the right. Because a human player doesn't play always on the beat. They have the imperfections off beat. And that's what makes it organic. And that's what will give groove to your stuff by moving stuff slightly. I recommend doing that with anything. Your notes, anything. And there's also this groove slider, main swing, which I'll talk about in a future video. Which is like a very easy way to add groove to like all your patterns universally with one knob. So it's very cool. I've done that in the past. I've done that on tracks like my track Galleon. I did that and it added a bit of groove and I put it around like 5-7%. But this way we're doing it manually. So if you did it like manually, you won't have to touch this slider. This slider will just stay at 0. Okay, so I want to add a little bump, bump, like that. So let's see. Something like this. Yeah, that's cool. It's not bad. It's not bad. Not bad at all. It's my terrible accent. Alright, so we got a little 4-bar action going on. We're going to put a fill here, like Dr. Phil. I'm going to call that Dr. Phil like that. Alright, so let's have a listen. What do we have thus far? Percussion is too quiet, and this could be because the lead is so loud. So we gotta bump up the volume of the stadium clap. It's not too bad. A lot of balancing needs to be done, EQing, but let's focus on the tom. We'll just listen to the percussion, basically. I'm also going to cut this so it doesn't overlap for the tom because we have small notes in between. Very good to do. I've done a video on that. And I'll do the same thing for the brass. The brass is being EQ'd. Basically everything's being EQ'd. I just want to make sure that we create space for that kick to punch through the mix. I'm going to throw on Camel Crusher. I don't usually do this, but I'm going to throw it on the kick just so it doesn't go over 0 dB, because Camel Crusher has a built-in hard limiter. Doesn't change too much. Gonna add the Camel Crusher again on the brass, but I'm going to pump it a bit. This is a compressor that it has like auto gain as well. It has an auto feature inside of it, but it will pump it. It will basically pump it. Think of it as like almost like a sausage fattener, but it's a bit more sophisticated. But you can use this definitely on vocals, on different stuff, and progress slightly into it. I boosted the high end on the lead because it has some weird data in here. Something is off-putting about this, but it's okay for now. the low mids, the mids kind of sound a little weird, but it's okay. It's because we're trying to go at this a bit faster paced, because you know those things are they require meticulous like sound design and going in there, you know, make these adjustments, adjust that, adjust this, and look at every stage of effects too. Sometimes your effects can be too much. Like it's probably likely that supercharger was not a great idea to put on here, or maybe later in the chain, maybe reduce it. A lot of things. You know, massive, even though it's clipping here, this distortion can also be pleasing. You can also get to the point. So don't worry if like your massive master is redlining. That's okay. That's not a bad thing. That can be totally fine. But we also didn't even add a filter here, so that can also be problematic. So we'll add the daft filter. So now we're going to add the fill. So we're going to prepare the fill. And I'm thinking like chords, like bum, 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 something like that. Be careful with your pan, because we were panning the tom. It still has that, so I want that to be centered. I don't want to do panning with this. Okay. Control Q will quantize your notes. Okay, we're going to do quick with this. Keep it simple. We'll do a little saw. We'll do -12, like kind of the similar thing. Square and saw waves are very easy to work with. We'll add a bit of noise. Keep it around 7. We won't need really feedback for this. Let's add a little bit of high EQ. We'll add a little reverb. Dry wet, maybe around 21, 20. Size, maybe around 63, 64. Let's go ahead and go to the voicing. We're going to make it 2 voices. Keep it polyphonic, because we're playing more than one note at the same time. Cool. I might detune it a bit. That's cool. And I want to automate the vibrato. Vibrato is great. I like the rate at around 69. And we're going to use macro 1. Let's see what it sounds like. So we'll put it around 50%. We will automate that, because I want to go da 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 da. Kind of want like that little automation near the end. And I'm also going to tell this to basically, I'm going to make this quiet. This is a cool tip. If you right click, click hold, you can just quick cut that off, the volume. You don't have to make an extra curve like a dot there and a dot there. You can just do one, which is very nice, very handy. I didn't use that for a long time. I never knew. I used to just go like this and go like that, and that's so inefficient compared to just doing hold. So really cool if you use the different types of modes, the different points. So right now I'm pretty happy with what we have thus far. We have some structure going on, and I'm going to add some more percussion. I'm gonna add like maybe some ride. Let's go back into the revealed pack. Let's see what we got. Maybe effects or something. Yeah, maybe, you know, this sounds pretty cheesy, but maybe this will work. I'll also route it to the same as this, 5. And we're gonna cut it off there. Again, remember, be careful when you slice samples, because there can be little trails, and those little trails can cause a like a little snip that will have bass frequencies, and really will be exaggerated when you guys slam the master and you have a lot of stuff on the master. You'll hear all those little problems, or you should hear them. Okay, so let's see, maybe a little impact or something. keep this maybe for the break. Okay, let's bring in some rides. Yeah, these rides are not that great, but we gotta work with what we got, you know? As Dr. Phil would once say, you know, gotta have that fill, gotta have that ride. Okay, so we got the ride, we got the fill, we got that stuff in there. Let's again cut the group of the ride, and we're going to high pass that ride as well because it's gonna have some low frequencies that we don't want. This one's not too bad. Went a bit further with this one, but I like it. It's also good. It's good to EQ stuff solo, but also listen to how it sounds together, because something might sound cool like when you solo it, but then it sounds bad together. So just a word of advice. So let's listen to what we have thus far. Very cool. We have like a little simple idea going on. So we're going to build upon this more, and we're going to work on a break idea in the next video. We're going to do like kind of a hands up chords, Kashmir, Martin Garrix, Dimitri Vegas, like Mike, dubs, drop gun, that kind of vibe. So I hope you guys can take away some simple stuff from this video. Keep in mind that, like I said, there's going to be beginner videos in the future. This is more for like intermediate users. And I'm going to make this FLP downloadable in the future once this gets finished. So once this gets finished, I will let you guys download this. You can reference it. You can see, you know, what I'm doing in there. But again, keep in mind, there's no hard rules with music. Like Hardwell said, there's no rules. It's like 50% art, 50% science. Meld it together. Do what works for you. Tell a story when you're making a song. When I'm writing something, I'm working on a song called Samurai. And I just keep visualizing some Japanese man, samurai man, swinging that sword. He's going crazy. And then during the breakdown, it got so emotional. It had me in tears because of the story I'm envisioning. But always keep in mind, like, you know, be humble. Do what you love. And, you know, even though people will hate on your work or dislike your work, keep it up. You know, keep doing it. Keep going at it. Keep going at your passion. And this is just a simple structure that we have. But you can see how it gets put together. It's much like making a cake. You gotta add this ingredient, add that ingredient. It's very technical. And so guys, I hope you like this video. We're gonna be doing part 2 where we look at the breakdown of the track. And during that part 2, we're gonna be adding more to this. Don't get me wrong, this isn't sounding great. It's pretty mediocre, you know. But you know, that's what we're working with the time constraints. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, drop a comment, stay subscribed. I hope you guys enjoy part 2 where we come back to this project, and I'll see you guys very soon. Take it easy.